Good day, I'm Samantha Allen and this is your JIS News for May 31. The economy continued its upward trajectory during the first quarter of the calendar year, with real GDP growth of 0.6% for the January to March 2012 period. This represents the fifth consecutive quarter of economic growth. The Planning Institute of Jamaica PIOJ says it was fueled mainly by the performances in agriculture, wholesale and retail trade and tourism. The only industries that did not record growth were mining and quarrying, construction and transport, storage and communication. PIOJ Director General Dr. Gladstone Hutchinson says real GDP is projected to grow by between 0.5 to 1.5% for the April to June period.
Most industries are expected to record growth. Agriculture, forestry and fishing, and wholesale and retail trade industries are expected to be the main drivers of growth during the forecast period.
He, however, cautioned that this will be affected by developments in the U.S. and Canadian economies as well as the Eurozone. The Ministry of Health is using World No Tobacco Day, May 31, to educate young people about the harmful effects of smoking, including second-hand smoking. Under the theme, Tobacco Industry Interference, this year's observance internationally is focused on exposing the nefarious tactics used by tobacco manufacturing companies to increase their customer base and profits. Director of Health Promotion and Protection in the Health Ministry, Dr. Sonia Copeland, says the results from a global youth tobacco survey have also cemented the need to design messages and tactics that will deter youth from smoking.
Even though we had very strong suspicion that there was growing use amongst adolescents, the survey has actually given us the evidence that this is so. If we can discourage our pre-adolescents from even starting to smoke, then we stand a better chance.
Dr. Copeland was speaking at a recent JIS think tank. Tourism and Finance Ministry officials are continuing discussions with hoteliers on recently announced tax measures affecting the sector. Tourism Minister Dr. Wickham McNeil led a meeting with technical teams from the ministries and the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association Wednesday. During those talks, JHTA officials presented the government with its recommendations concerning the revenue measures. The parties agreed to discuss the proposals in further details Thursday. Minister McNeil says the meeting provided the opportunity for frank discussion on the tax proposals. JHTA President Evelyn Smith says the association is heartened that dialogue has now started. An advisory committee has been set up to facilitate drafting legislation for the establishment of government's proposed single anti-corruption body. Justice Minister Senator Mark Golding says the committee is constituted of men and women of integrity and expertise throughout their careers. They are to examine the matter, consult with the relevant stakeholders in formulating new proposals, and report to the minister with an optional design for Jamaica's institutional and legislative anti-corruption arrangement. Minister Golding says the body has already had its first meeting and is to report to him by the end of June. Following this, a submission will be made to Cabinet outlining the specific policy arrangements and seeking approval for instructions to be issued to commence implementation of the legislative framework. And finally, Minister of Labour and Social Security Derek Kelly has assured members of the disabled community that government is working to implement specific policies and plans geared towards meeting their needs. The minister adds that a series of public education campaigns will be undertaken to raise awareness about the needs of members of the disabled community and to increase support for their causes.
So that all the persons in this country can understand that persons with disabilities are not in any way different from the rest of us and ought to be treated in a fair way. In terms of our planning, as a government, we want to ensure that all the plans that we make take into consideration the needs of the disability community.
Minister Kelly was addressing members of the disabled community at a meeting Wednesday morning at his offices. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Samantha Allen. Thanks for watching.